Blood Brothers podcast, a Five Pillars production.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers, sisters, friends and the foes out there, and welcome to a very special episode of the Blood Brothers podcast with your host, Dilly Hussain. Before I introduce today's esteemed guest, I want to remind all the avid podcast listeners that you can find this show on all the major audio platforms. And of course, if you're watching it in the video form, do remember to click subscribe to the Five Pillars YouTube channel. Today's guest is someone whose accolades are many. This podcast has actually been 3 months in the making. He is a former professional MMA fighter hailing from Essex, a socialite, an entrepreneur, the public face of who brought the MMA to the UAE. And that's just some of his accolades, and that is none other than Tam Khan of TK MMA Gym. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, brother. You know, that's the best intro I've probably had in the past 5 months.
Serious?
You wouldn't believe how many interviews, podcasts, you name it. I did one last night with ABC News.
Yeah.
That's my favourite intro so far.
Really?
That's my favourite intro. I want to get that snippet. I want to push that.
Shall I tell you why? Because the way you introduce a guest sets the tone for the show ahead.
It does. And people don't know that I bribed him with some Monday.
Of course.
This. I'm joking. Stuff like that.
How you doing, Tam?
Alhamdulillah, good. Welcome to the UAE, brother. I mean, can I say the purpose of this podcast? Can I just, before you, I don't want it, because
give the people
he's
the
a humble
context.
brother. I want to say, this was 3 months to make it, and initially we planned and sealed and delivered to do a podcast, our brother Dilly, with yourself, with Andrew Tate, and I'm speaking to the camera just to inform the audience.
Sure. So
brother Andrew confirmed yes. For many months he was going to do it with Dilly, but timings, work, we had some commitments. He travelled, I travelled, and things like that. So Dilly reminded me before the new year. He said, just so I can get my calendar in check, my diary.
Let me ask you something. Was I doing your head in?
No. You know what?
Promise me this.
Brother, you weren't. There's people who do. You're not. You're respectful. You're like, I understand. And you know what? When it's brothers like you or brothers who want to do it, I'm all for that. It's these other ones who want the clout, who just want to talk about his lifestyle, different ones. So he said yes straight away. And then, literally, I speak to Andrew. I think I'm sitting next to him, or no. He just flew off to London. I said, which dates can I want to book for my brother? We said, he goes 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm back 100%. Inshallah, 30th, I'm back. But let's do that date. My diary's cleaned up, and those dates, you choose a day. Everything's done. We thought we'd use a podcast here, or maybe his villa, whichever was better for equipment-wise. Literally, Dilly goes, you sure? He books it. SubhanAllah, this just shows like qadr and what we're saying.
Written.
He books it, everything like that. Yeah, I said, look, what time, what's your schedule? Let's meet up, let's train. Our brother's in shape. I said, come to the gym, we'll meet, we'll have food, we'll meet with some brothers, we'll meet with Andrew and a lot of the guys. You know, sometimes before podcasts, it's good to meet up as well.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, we're brothers. This is all about just getting to know people and your guests and hosts. Literally, I fall asleep, I go to sleep, I wake up for Fajr, I wake up to notifications through the roof, missed calls, Dilly as well. So Dilly's like 6th on the pecking order. And I'm like, Andrew Tate's been arrested, Andrew Tate this, and SubhanAllah, like, we'll get into that anyway. But so unfortunately, my big head is replacing Andrew Tate. But
that's not true.
We were planning to have a discussion
anyway.
anyway. Why? Because this is many years in the making. What he doesn't know, he's got his questions to me. Him and his 5 pillars wrote a bad article about me once, about an article, a post I did on Facebook. So I had a little vendetta against him. I didn't know who it was. So after this podcast, we're going to spar. I'm joking. No, you know, but so I knew of 5 pillars in 2016.
Let me ask you something. Do you still stand by that position?
We can get into this, totally. We can get into all of this now. But I had a status which went viral on Facebook. No one will know. These are days before socials got so big, and I wasn't really...
I just want to say that I did not offer that article, by the way.
I'm
saving my skin now.
I'm just laughing.
I'm saving my skin now.
I like that. It's 5 pillars. But I remember I saw it. I'm like, this is a bit of hate. What's this about? And I wrote another status, and the gist was quite easily understandable. And the delivery was bad, and many things like I regret saying. I was just frustrated with.
But we did the post coverage as well.
Yeah. But it's just funny and like
how things are like.
Yeah. So when we spoke on Twitter and Instagram, I see his face a lot, but I didn't know it was 5 pillars. I always see him on videos. Riaz, I bumped into Riaz in Qatar. Riaz Khan, a good friend, a good brother, ex-football hooligan turned practicing Muslim. So we have a network of people. You're in sport, I'm in sport. We've got many mutual friends. So it's just funny that then I looked into you and I was like, 5 pillars. Yeah? Right. I don't trust it like that. But subhanAllah, it's funny how, like, we're now, 6 years?
6 years, my brother.
6 years, nearly 7, bro. It's 2018. 7 years has gone.
You're a natural podcast. I've just clocked that.
No.
No, that's true.
I just wanted to give the audience a gist of this because we'll be discussing our brother a lot. And that's why I want to do this, to clarify many things which no one spoke about on podcasts yet. And I get tweets all day, and you cannot put in 140 characters.
100%, bro.
And this was the goal, and I really wanted Andrew Tate to have a platform. So I believe he hasn't had a discussion really purely about Islam, and that's no offense to any Muslims who've interviewed him. Yeah. I'm not a Dawi, but the ones who are with that, they could have done a better job, in my opinion. They could have.
I agree with you on this.
I think, but they're very good at what they do.
Yeah,
very intellectual brothers. I respect them all. But see, my stance is different. My podcast system is different. I like to debate. I like to hear people talking. More of a
probing, pushing.
But people who are Dawis or who have that experience or education or who are well studied that was their chance. So when I see a lot of these, bar you because you haven't had the opportunity, you're about to do it. When I see a lot of these people raising questions, I'm thinking, like, you're a face for the Brotherhood in UK, for example. You're a Dawi. Why didn't you probe these questions? So whether it's intimidation, whether people, when they see the sunglasses, it's normal. It's normal. Like, Andrew Tate's a good friend of mine for a long time, but when those glasses come on this mic, bro, I swear, subhanAllah, he's one of the most gifted talkers. The production team behind will tell you. When he goes on, he's amazing.
So we're going to get to this because we're going to talk about Andrew Tate off camera, non camera.
Yes.
But I also want to say to our listeners and viewers that I always said to you, and I've maintained this, that I was always going to come and do a podcast with you. Did I not?
No.
Tate, Andrew or no,
he was. And
I said to you, I was going to come make time for you, my brother.
He did. And I know you were, I was watching your vlogs, I think, of training. It's a lot of things in common. And I also said, it's just crazy how life turns out, because it's purely in the colour of Allah, because the dates were different. We said December, then he travelled, and he had this, and now, but this topic will probably hit more,
100%.
Not that it's for views and clout, but this might hit a wider range of audience purely because of the situation we're in. So anyway, I'll let you proceed. I won't hog and annoy the audience with my head.
No, of course not. Of course not, 100%, my brother. Listen, let's kick this off first, yeah? You have become somewhat synonymous perceptively with Andrew, right? Even it has, bro. When the declaration of his Islam happened, it happened with you and him praying Salah, and it was at the masjid that we prayed at, right?
The masjid, we just prayed Jummah. Hence, I kind of did that, but I wanted to tell you after, but it slipped my mind.
No, I clocked the carpet.
Yeah,
I clocked the carpet. I clocked the gold backdrop, and you had kids after Jummah today, asking you about Andrew Tate, and that was mad,
bro. That was, you came out about 5 minutes later than me, because I think you were getting your shoes. There was more before that, and it happens on a daily basis, brother.
Okay.
A daily basis, especially in masjids, because he'd come to there for Jummah, the brother. Like, I feel sad talking about it now, like he's passed astaghfirullah, but he'd come Jummah there, he'd come Jummah, and afterwards shake hands with all the kids, and they'd all, in a way, whatever people want to say, and we're going to get into that, just to see him praying amongst other brothers, that would be inspiration for some kids, saying, you know what, he's praying. He's praying. Like, we look up to some people. We see him in the masjid. He's not posting it. He's not doing video. He's actually there. So these kids would run over, and obviously then when the adults come, it gets silly, because I know we're Muslims. It's Jummah. We're there for a reason, not to do pictures and meet a celeb. But for the kids, you quickly shake hands, do a few pics, and jump off. So yeah. So I wanted that by purpose. I thought, let's meet there for Jummah. That's where it started.
I clocked it straight away.
It just makes the storyline better.
Yeah. So when the declaration of Andrew's Islam came to the public, it was done via yourself. Perceptively, it was you both were praying Salah, then you posted that video, and that's it. The news spread like wildfire. But before we get to that, explain to our viewers and listeners how you became friends with the most Googled man on earth.
Funny enough, we became friends 2005, 6, around those days. He was a teen still, and through sport, mixed martial arts, I used to fight. And before I became obese, and a show called Ultimate Warrior Challenge in Southend-on-Sea, and he's from Luton, as you know. So we scout for gyms around the southeast. It's cheap, as you know, petrol money coming. We've got a show, and there's his coach called Amir Subacek, who's very renowned in his day, kickboxer, Bosnian brother, respected, and we knew if he brings people, they'll come to fight. They're not going to lay down. They'll put on a show because it's entertainment. So he brought his guys. I remember him in the change rooms. In those days, it wasn't like you see UFC. We're not celebs. It was just like you get in there, you fight. No one knew nutrition. Just who's the hardest. It was those kind of techie days, like Raw. So I'd see this quite tall guy, and kind of like not nerdy, but just simple. Like he had no X factor, just very athletic. You look at him and think he looks young, baby face. You know, he fought quite a tough guy, and then when he started fighting, throwing left kicks, if you know stance, like from a orthodox stance, just to throw a left kick like he did. Very game, very aggressive, and he was winning, and he beat an ex-UFC competitor called Luke Barnett. He fought a very tough Iranian fighter we had. He lost on decision, but he was always game and exciting for the crowd because he'd strike, and people love to see knockouts. And then we kept bringing him on, and so from there, you know, it's like you're in journalism, for example. You'll know Piers Morgan. You'll know certain.
Yep.
You'll just be like, whether it's close or not. I remember him from there. It's a network. You'll always keep.
It's a circuit.
It's a circuit. So mine's in the fighting world. There's many, from Leon Edwards to him to Hoist Gracie. So kept in touch here and there, and because I moved to Dubai at that time before Dubai was kind of booming in 2008. Whenever friends or people in the industry would go to Dubai, I'll go see. That Tam's there. You know, like if I go to, for example, London or say Luton, I'll say, Bedford. Oh, that Dilly's there. Or go see him in Manchester. That brother's. It's just, you know, human races like that, and that's before even social. So I was the Dubai man. And so
but you are the Dubai man.
Yeah, but in those days it was more. Now it's like it's very multicultural. But in those days, for the especially the English kind of based people, go see Tam. So they'd ask me which hotel, the usual, which restaurant, where should I go, and like that. Stay in touch a lot.
So,
and
so you've become what, a Trivago type of thing as well.
Yeah, I'm the Uber. I'm the black taxi driver of Dubai. Literally, all right, get in the car and like that. So kept in touch. He'd come a lot, and then the funny thing was, in recent years, I'd post a lot of Islamic like stories more sure that I had kids, got closer to Allah myself, and always been, but really wanted to publicize it more. So I post stories, hadiths, things like this, surahs, and he'd always throw hearts. You're on Instagram and you like it. So I'd always, you look just to see, always Muslim. Then I see Andrew Tate and a few other kuffar, non-Muslims, like I don't use that word, but non-practicing
Muslims.
Muslims.
That's fine. It's a general thing.
But it's a general term. But
it's a general term.
Andrew was always hearty, and I was like, okay, it's cool. Like a lot of the MMA world or like old friends, I'd always see who doesn't like it, who's unfollowed me. I could always see, he'd always like it. And sometimes then he'd comment like a heart. So then I thought, that's interesting. And then I'd see his videos one day.
So what year are we talking now? So
this is like at least nearly 2 years ago.
Okay.
He was liking the stuff.
Because he went super famous from that one clip. I don't know which podcast it was. It's basically where he spoke about Islam.
This is much before this. This is actually maybe 3 years ago, to be honest, because I remember it was on a beach. We bumped into each other on a beach gym in Dubai. Yeah, brother, this could be 3.5 years ago, okay?
So his interest...
3 years ago, 100%.
So his interest and inclination towards just learning or warmth towards Islam was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking I'm not sure what the experience was, or he's been reading, or he's been assessing things. Remember, he's born in Luton and from poverty, but at this point, he's probably making money and he's traveling a lot. So he's probably picking up things, how people behave, maybe in Muslim countries, how they respect people, service. Could be anything, but I noticed that a lot. So I noticed that a lot, yeah. I'd love to maybe scroll back on archives to see, but it's because he's been blocked off there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see it as him. But then we're talking, blah, 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 let's go for dinner, catch up, usual chit-chat, like this then whenever he's here. But then I'm on social and I'm just seeing him everywhere. I've had people tell me, look at this guy, look what he's saying, it's crazy, he's so funny, it's so true about LGBTQ, about masculinity, about
marriage, gender roles,
about Islam. Look, he's saying it's the most viral one went about the Prophet, peace be upon him, when he said you could never disrespect the Prophet and walk down the street without, and then everyone, it was in Arabic, everyone was saying that. I'm like, I know this guy. They go, no, you don't. I know him, and I said to him, I messaged him, I said, bro, you are like, everyone's sending me your videos. And he just like laughed, goes, yeah, but it's true. He said, but it's true. And then from there, then it just went up and down. I didn't really take notice of it. And then where it really got crazy was before he got cancelled, I went to a marketing company, actually the people who are doing production, Trifid Media, because I was Googling, I want to get my gym busier, what's the best way? Because I'm a bit old school. I thought the old boost post.
Yeah.
It's only so many times you can do that. Google Ads, I don't know how to do that. So let me go to an agency and hire someone who can do it. And I went to this company, they're saying, look, you got to get into TikTok. I'm like, I don't want to do TikTok. Men dancing, this, that, it's not for me, it's embarrassing. He goes, no, it's not what you think. TikTok was like that. Now people do marketing, advertisement, it hits a huge reach and it's very effective. And I'm like, no. He goes, bro, trust me. Have you heard of Andrew Tate? I went, then he said that. I said, yeah, I know the guy. He goes, no, you don't. I said, yeah, I know the guy. He's a friend. He goes, really? I go, look, I'm messaging him now. He goes, bro, go on TikTok. I'm going to market your gym. You're going to get a lot of customers. But can we do a thing with Andrew Tate? I went, yeah. What do you want to do? So we did the first TikTok about Andrew Tate or something. We were planning. SubhanAllah, literally a week or two after that, Tate gets banned.
That was in November, wasn't it? End of October, November?
Before that, I think he got banned.
Are you talking about the total ban? Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. Yeah, that was end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah, that Instagram, yeah. So he was getting a lot of controversy. And I did a TikTok saying...
But that's when he became the most Googled man on earth, though.
Around that period. And I wrote, he's banned here, he's banned there, but he's not banned from TKMA. Yeah. This is the gym. He's welcome here and he'll be coming here. Satire goes, yeah, I'm going to come. And we're talking. Then that post went viral. Because I didn't know TikTok, how it works. I don't even have the logins. These guys do it for me. And he said, it's gone really viral and stuff. I said, yeah. I said, what would happen if I brought him here? We could do like a talk, an evening with Andrew Tate or something. He goes, bro, you'll shut down. I said, are you sure? I said, if it's good for business, let's see. Purely for a business point of view, I'm telling you at the point, for the gym. So I spoke to Andrew, what about coming? He goes, for sure. I go, what do you think money? He goes, I don't want money. He goes, literally, I'll come over and just cover the costs with the ticket money and then keep whatever. Wallahi, that's his truth. He said that. I said, okay, let's do a show. The 41 Tenets, he had this kind of system of, and I read through it, nothing against Islam and stuff, so I don't want to promote anything. It's just like how to be a better man, how to do this, respect. Started promoting an event, it went viral on the news, this, that. We had a lot of Karens going against it, this. Anyway, they tried to say, they didn't cancel the event, they said, look, we suggest we don't go through this event. And I understood why. Dubai is a Muslim country, and UAE is Dubai in the UAE is a Muslim country, and I don't want the West to say, "Oh, well, he's banned everywhere else. This is misogynist." But look, Muslims let him. Yeah. I thought I don't want that. I don't want the media to just push on Islam for no reason. So I said, let's hold back a bit. I said, come over, let's just do a tour and just meet people and just get yourself familiar here. The rest is history. Then he came over.
But that's already being said. It's already being said by many of his critics. They're saying this wasn't necessarily a conversion, it was a convergence, meaning it was a convenient transfer to a faith which many believe is misogynistic, regressive, archaic, backwards and oppressive. What's your thoughts on those critics?
Those critics, my thoughts are uneducated, bias. Anyone who knows about Islam and the miracle of the Quran and can read the status we put women on, so therefore it defeats misogyny. The hate, self-explanatory. We have a whole chapter called Mary, for Prophet Isa's wife, mother. Sorry, that's the status of women. Probably one of the most famous scholars is the Prophet's wife, Aisha. How do we know certain attributes of the Prophet?
She taught the Sahaba many of the deen.
And that's a lady, So one of the most prominent businesswomen who the Prophet worked for, his first wife Khadija, first revert, I think.
The first to accept Islam.
So they're just literate. They'll take passages, like I said, the Quran is so diverse, and this is the same thing, stuff like there's no comparison, but when you see Andrew Tate, you edit clips, look at the whole content, you've got to look at the whole thing, they'll find something, what's the word?
They'll take something out of context and not give it the full picture, that's standard.
And of course the Arabic is such a high level, you can't even interpret it to English, it doesn't make sense sometimes, hence you need scholars, so it's stupidly, and obviously, there is an agenda. We say Matrix Andrew, I believe there's one against Islam because you can't buy Muslims, you can't change us, we're staunch, we're not like Christianity, we're not like other religions where we'll mould, we'll make a new version, we'll say, okay, we'll accept this, we'll never accept a homosexual priest, Islam is Islam, we're like...
It'll never be normalised.
It'll never be normalised. And every Muslim you speak to, whether he's a roadman, a street guy...
Practicing, non-practicing,
he'll say, that's haram, that's halal, I know, I'm sinning, but that's... No one will ever say, but can I? Everyone knows the facts.
I'm a harami, but this is wrong.
Yeah. So, and I've been around guys like stuff in my silly days. I know a lot of people, and I've seen we all know these kind of people. And you can be the baddest, most feared guy, the toughest fighter. They all know when they're the respect of an elder. When they're in front of the Kaaba, they're all like children. And with which other culture, religion can you do that? No one. So they know they can't buy Islam. So the best way to defeat Islam is like anyone. With it nowadays, the new war is the media. The media to call us backwards. So
it's crazy because recently, just a couple of episodes ago, we had Jake Shields on, former UFC fighter, and he said, look, he goes, I train with Muslim guys. The way they take their Ramadan and their prayers seriously, he goes, I don't see Christians take the deen that seriously. And one of the conversation was that he goes, for me, at the moment, there's nothing that Christianity really offers me. It's very similar to what Andrew said.
Yeah.
What's Christianity offering the people? Yeah, it's not offering much in terms of moral order. It's not offering much in terms of an alternative to what he refers to as the matrix. But I would have loved to have told him that there's only one matrix, and that is the camp of Iman versus Kufr.
yeah,
That's it. There is no other matrix in terms of a universal one.
you're spot on right. He sometimes use a term. When there's evil, there's good. Islam's good. Evil is shit. That's the evil. So in other ways, he kind of would say that in his kind of terms.
True, fair enough.
Like shaitan, like it truly is. And again, I respect all cultural religions, but like I said, for me, and I'd love people without bias to look into Islam and read the Quran, because it's a solution for what the issues we're going through nowadays. How I've got friends who are non-Muslims, many kufar and many staunch Christians, and they're all on par. They're saying, you know what, you guys stand up for what's going on. We're afraid to.
If I'll be honest with you, one of the experiences I've had from, I know this is a bit of a digress, but one of the issues I find that prevents people from accepting Islam, even though knowing that it has the solutions to their own personal lives, is the social aspect. They might like drinking, they might like having multiple partners, not committing.
Outside marriage.
I mean, to tell someone that, look, the only time you can be getting jiggies in the context of marriage, right? That's hard. Or like, when you want to socialize, you have to socialize without alcohol. So you'll find it's the very
small details.
Small details.
And I think you're spot on there. And they get afraid. They think revert, and that's it. What do I do? What do Muslims do? We just sit in quiet rooms. They think they're still alive. And also, we need to reiterate to the non-Muslims who watch, do it step by step.
Of course.
Don't rush. It's going to
100%.
take time. Don't think I revert. You're going to make mistakes. We make mistakes as Muslims. So I try to explain that. And
born Muslims make the most mistakes.
exactly. We know better. We've been raised around it. We have no excuse,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Let me ask you something. How come you posted the video of you and Andrew praying Salah? Because some could say that, look, well, Tam was somewhat clout chasing you as well.
I know, I totally, and I wrote a statement about this. I purely did it because at that time, he was interested. I said, you know what? You're in Dubai. I want you to stay here. And I don't want, there's a lot of things you do which are dodgy. You're my friend, and I know your context, but as a Muslim, I don't like. And a lot of people who are much more aggressive with their manner, they're going to not like. And I said, you know what? Let's put something positive for you. Let's show this, because you've always been promoting Islam. There's many people speaking out. Is he going to become Muslim? Show him the message from the Deen show to, I think, Normally.
Yes.
I saw a lot of clips. And he goes, you don't think they'll just say I'm doing it for this? He said this, and he goes, or they'll go, I'm an extremist, I'm joining ISIS. We laughed. I go, they're going to probably do that. I said, you know what, leave it to me. I said, you know what, the youth, they all look up to you. I'd rather, if you're going to make pictures and videos, I think, show the Quran, show Hadith, show the prayer. Social media, unfortunately, is the only route now. There's no education, there's no stands, there's no circles like they used to do when you were younger in mosques. And because of social media, kids can't relate to certain people talking to them. They're like, you don't understand, you're not from the street, or you're not cool, you don't work out. So when you get an elder who's got an accent, like Zakir Naik, I love all these brothers, but he cannot relate to a guy from the streets in Brixton or South London or... But he's not going to relate. So people like Andrew Tate do relate. A lot of people look up to him, unfortunately, like whether it's fortunate or not. And I said, bro, do this, and you should be a role model for the Muslims to show, I'm going to revert and pray. Why are you not pray, And that was my goal behind it.
Are we setting conditions now for ulama to have six-packs and be built like tanks for them to be listened to?
We're not. But I think to relate to the youth, for example, me, or when I was younger, I'd see guys, and I'm going to be honest with you now. When I wasn't practicing, I was in the Jahiliyyah times and younger. I have guys, you can't go here and there. And you'd be arrogant. You'd say, yeah, but because you can't do that. That's why you say that. Astaghfirullah. I'm telling you, a lot of guys say that. I'm around youth. I hear them. They're saying, okay, because you were stuck in a room. Like, we were going out a lot. You're mingling. We've travelled a lot. A lot of, unfortunately, some parents are very strict. The kids would be on computers, very introverted. And these guys would, and you'd say, okay, but you've never been here, you've never done that. So it's a stupid argument. But to relate to this younger generation, they're on social media. It's not like us. We never had these smartphones. We never had internet, bro. So we just watch Hulk Hogan. You'd see a thing, Mike Tyson winning. We never
Thundercats.
Yes, Thundercats, He-Man, the A-Team, and there was a few. Now there's so many, and they're inspired. It's drilled in them, bro. It's drilled in them. So to touch and relate them, you can give away amazing messages, but it might not attract them. They might just go zoom up. When you've got someone who's got a bit of a delivery or a certain aspect, it's clickbait. Call it clickbait. And I think sometimes, I'm not saying it's a criteria, but some people relate to certain people more than others can, in my opinion.
Would you say Andrew's virality or his popularity was as a result of a void that was already there? An absence of a religious leadership that wasn't necessarily manly or masculine?
I think it was at a time where the Me Too movement is booming, a time where LGBTQ is trying to be enforced, and he came at the time where he was probably one of the most vocal people at that time when non-Muslims, where everyone was afraid to be because you said one thing, for example, a Katie Hopkins or a whoever, a Ben Shapiro, a lot of people were getting ousted. Jordan Peterson, for example. Not that I'm a big fan, but he wouldn't want to use pronouns, his whole thing, and he was kind of ousted. So people were like, oh, let's get nervous. He came on and was just like, boom, 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 fine bullets. And but he did it with a bit of satire, humor, and with
a bit of character, innit?
And slang,
Yeah.
and swearing. So he related to youngsters. And especially when he pushed the masculine one and regarding this and the character and the whole persona, let's work out, let's be tough. So that hits that kind of demographic hard, and you cannot just get a following like that by doing a scam. You can try your one, like get 50 guys next door. We can say to them, okay, I'm going to invest in you. $50,000, say, for a year, market. $100,000, I'm going to put you here, going to put this with you, you're going to train whatever. Going to put you on a mic and pass a message. Doesn't mean it'll work.
No, of course
you
not.
have to have that gift, and you have to say something where it resonates, and he truly did. There's a reason why it resonated. So it must have been a void for certain people. Our generation is different now. There's social media, there's bullying. Like he said, women, like guys who want to meet or be friendly with a woman or in a relationship or stuff or whatever it's called. Nowadays, women have it on a touch of a button. When you're younger, for example, relationships. Like for these non-Muslims, for example, have an argument with their partner, she would sit in the room, the old days, cry, listen to Celine Dion, Mariah Carey. Now that's what they'll do. Now, swipe up, you know what, forget him.
Next
Anthony Joshua's there, what's this MC Stormzy, whatever. It's a touch of hand, and they've got filters, and women are maturing, they're wearing more provocative wear, so some things resonate. A woman can get, men are, without Islam and morals, men are animals. They truly are like animalistic, like they want to be promiscuous. And he said, look, women can just, do you know when they say, I can have male friends? You cannot. Ask any woman who's got a male friend.
No,
just play a trick, say, you know what, I'm lonely, would you come over and, see the answer.
Yeah, the thirst is real. The thirst is
so,
real.
He hit that nerve, he resonated with all of it, and I truly believe that's why a lot of kids love him.
But are the things that he was saying, is all of it lovable or even productive or positive for the kids?
Of course not. But we're living in a generation where everything's extreme. Who would have thought you'd have cross-dressers trying to be teachers or saying in school books, I have two dads. No, don't judge my gender. I'm non-binary. Like, who would have thought this? Who would have thought in a world where we're after the lockdown, everything which has happened, like the world's scared, the world thinks, people on edge. You cannot, hello madam, or hello, the English way, hello darling, at the Gregs. Oh, that's sexism. Society's evolved and changed, and I think in a point where it's an extreme way, like music's got extreme, vulgarities to an all extreme, these realities, silly shows, you see Love Island, you see some nude show in England called Naked or...
Naked Attraction.
So what's left, bro? What's left? Bestiality on TV? So it's an extreme generation.
Which is legal in Denmark up until a particular point. Yeah.
So we've got an extreme society now in the West. So how to get their attention? Be extreme back. And I think he delivered that to capture attentions. I think it was more of a show to grab the attention. Now listen to me. I really believe in a time where if you speak out, it wouldn't have been heard. He had to be
tongue-in-cheek.
controversial. Yeah.
So back to the posting of the video, you mentioned that there were certain things that you weren't entirely comfortable with that he was up to.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was pre him taking the Shahada. Did you give him nasiha? Did you give him advice regarding this stuff?
Yeah, before that, look, for me, I'd say as a Muslim we don't, but he's non-Muslim. For me to give him guidance, I was teaching more about Islam rather than giving him guidance. As a man, I'm still myself, not perfect in many ways. My character, sometimes temper.
We all are, my brother.
Yeah. I'm thinking, I'm not one of those guys to give when I'm not scared, but I'd say the beauty of Islam is this, that, because behind the glass, he's a very educated and he's a very well-behaved, he's a very respectful man. For example, he'll come in, he'll shake everyone's hand. If an older person comes, he'll get up. He's got these kind of morals which are instilled in our culture. I can't explain what I mean by that. He's very like, he'll touch this. This is before Islam. He knows how to greet. He knows how to be respectful. I've had many guests come, many fighters, and they're like this. They walk around like there's something. He'd walk in. He'd make eye contact. If he saw it's a Kandori, he thought it was a sheikh or someone older. He'd be like that. If he knows a family member, he'd run over. So he always had the mannerisms. But I understood at that time. The only things I didn't agree with, obviously, of course, is for me the ones which are non-Islamic vices. I don't agree with sexualization, webcam things, casinos, these things. But everything else in a non-Muslim kind of world, for me, and how he was behaving, he was much better than the rest.
Yeah, so I think that's a valid point for our viewers and listeners. What you're basically saying is there's only so much nasiha you can give to a non-Muslim whilst they're a non-Muslim.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Other than guiding them to Islam.
Yeah, others saying, look, Islam's a perfect faith and religion because it doesn't tolerate that. This. Islam says this. Islam has an answer for this. Islam has an answer. If you're married and you both live by Islam, you'll never have problems. Mm-hmm. The husband or wife, you'll never have issues like the fear of the West because you both fear Allah.
So we touched upon a bit about the Tate off camera, right? Let's explore that a little bit. His observations in terms of respecting elders and stuff like that. Since becoming Muslim, and the time that you've spent with him since he became Muslim, have you seen changes?
Oh, many. I noticed in a lot of his podcasts, to be honest, he wasn't as aggressive. He was still certain terms, but he calmed a lot. And where I really noticed it more was on the Piers Morgan. That podcast is the first time ever I've seen him publicly apologise for a past remark. He usually says, I'm not going to say that. Yeah. My delivery was this, but the delivery is this, regarding misogyny. The first time ever, and why? That was a disrespect. It was an ISIS comment or about Islam. And that's where I respect him more. I thought, that's a lot of pressure. The world's watching. Your non-Muslim supporters, which are probably more, your members of your club. Now it's your chance. Are you a alpha king or not? And he said, you know what, I'm sorry about that, and I was wrong. I was an atheist and I didn't mean it. Then my respect went up because you know what? Out of all, the only thing he should be sorry for is the non-Islamic. And that's when I respect him more. And also many things like, he'd say in my haram days, you'd see a lot, and I was around him, like I knew, he used to say to me, he used to say many things. I know drinking and this, that, what else? He said to me, look, I've got casinos, I need to get rid of them, they're my haram, but the other stuff, I've stopped. This is the shaitan days. He goes, the casinos, I've still got connections, it takes time. Look, he goes, I'm tied up. He'd tell me this all. I said, and I used to say to him, look, it's not going to happen overnight. He even said about tattoos once, he made a comment saying, and it was actually my mistake. I didn't know. I said, look, because you're a reaver, you don't have, like, no, he doesn't have to. But I should have said you should cut, because a lot of people were saying, no, he doesn't cover it in the masjid. I said, your aura is more important, meaning navel to knee. He goes, sure, that's it in the shower before. Like these questions. So
he was concerned about his tattoos and stuff.
Yeah, before we came, he goes, what do I wear? The first Jum'ah I went to, what do I wear and stuff, and this. And he'd make things like that. Then we had another brother, and we said, look, there's a certain surah we read on Jum'ah. It's recommended. Sort of Kaf. Off the cave, yeah, surah off the cave. He was reading English translation. That video went out. The khutbah in English, you get in Dubai, khutbahs, which are the same everywhere. Yeah. And he's making effort, and he always, wallahi, I say this, every time we pray, he said to me, thanks for bringing me, bro. So, like, when we pray, he goes, thanks for doing that for me. Like, you see no. So, whatever everyone says, I'm telling us genuinely, I'd see in his face. Now, don't forget, he's gone from this extreme to this. It's not like a normal reaver. Normal reavers, the normal reaver is not the most Google man in 222. Probably now the most famous man on the planet, him and Ronaldo and Messi. It's different. The pressures. He cannot go to a shop, bro. I thought, I've seen Khabib's, I've seen John Cena's. This guy cannot go to a mall. When he goes to a mall, we have to go at 10 a.m. When the shop doors are open, no one's there, and I send a big guy with him.
Is that crazy?
The gym, we had with the 4 lifts we came up on. 2 lifts were broken when he
I saw the
tried to
video,
escape
that was
from
mad.
people chasing him. When he'd come podcast, we'd sneak him through. Afternoon times where it's quite empty, he'd come in. So it's literally like that. You can't drive his car, the Bugatti, because everyone knows it. They follow him. You nearly crash. People are following cameras out the windows. Everywhere you go. Everywhere. It's literally, and I was like, I didn't realize the power of social media. So he's not your everyday Joe. So with someone like him, it does take time. And like I said, he's gone from extreme, lavish lifestyle to a culture and a religion which says, look, this is not permitted, this. It's going to take time. So again, like he says clearly, I'm not a Dawi, I'm not a scholar. I just resonate with Islam. I want to be Muslim because I believe the truth is the final religion. That's all he says.
Tam, can we watch a clip together?
Yeah.
And I hope that you can perhaps provide some
Yeah,
context to a particular clip that was doing the rounds, and it was actually being shared. It's funny because the demographic that was sharing it was Israeli Zionists. It was actually Yavi or Yemeni, one of the Khabith, this guy, yeah?
That's it, I know.
Yeah, but there was a few others that were circulating this clip. Even some Muslims were sharing this clip. Can you provide some clarity on this particular clip?
Weren't you an atheist at once?
I was at one point, yeah.
Yeah.
But now I'm absolutely and utterly, completely religious.
Because you believe in evil, huh?
You have
Because I've
28
seen the evil.
Yeah.
I've
28
seen evil.
What's your
What's your religion?
It's kind of like an interesting hybrid. When I'm in Dubai, I'm happy to be Muslim, and when I'm in Romania, I'm happy to be Christian. I just respect the idea of God.
No, I
Yeah,
get that.
I agree.
And when you look at the most heinous crimes and the most heinous things that are happening on the planet,
I know this, yeah.
Was this after his
This
shahada?
was purely before. This is when Nelk
100%.
100%, because this is when Nelk Boys. Nelk Boys were invited for Abu Dhabi show on UFC. They came 2 weeks prior, and the reason why that's not there, two reasons. I wanted to get into this. It was filmed before, and they were paid by Abu Dhabi Tourism to come promote UFC. They were not allowed to be in Dubai. It was a contract. So they said, we cannot post anything till we're back on American soil, otherwise we're not going to get paid. 1. 2, I know the dates because Nelk Boys, if you check their itinerary, they were only here before the UFC. He reverted on the day of the UFC itself was a Saturday night.
Yep.
And then
It was actually. Let's look at the calendar. It was November the
28th?
26th or 27th.
Islam Makhachev
Yeah, Islam
for
Makhachev, yeah.
Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
It was in
26th
UFC
or
Abu Dhabi, and we watched it in a local
Yeah.
burger joint.
26th or 27th.
It was this night, and
So it was.
yeah,
it was
that's
de-
much prior, yeah, 100% prior. That's when Nelk Boys. At that time, we did not go to a masjid for him to revert as well. It was just purely. I said my idea. We were having dinner one day, and I said, just come to a masjid. I want you to see what we go and feel, and because we'd be in meetings or we'd be doing things, and I say I got to pray, and he'd watch sometimes. Whoever we're with, I'd walk out and pray if I'm running late. So he's always, and I said, you know what, I got to stop praying. I go, sorry, listen. He goes, no, bro, I respect that. That's true. I rate that. He'd always say, I rate that. And then the funny thing was, a lot of Muslims would be around him. Hey, Andrew, what girl, which place? And he'd look at me and he goes, I know they're doing that to impress him. He goes, but I rate the guy who. Andrew's all about someone who stands up and doesn't care. He is that. This guy, you can't force him to say anything, bro. When you know him, you cannot tell him, say this, that. He won't do it. He's very like this. How many warnings must he have had from the West, or how he was treading on thin ice? You cannot. When he wants to do something, he does it. That's one thing I know about him. You cannot say, do this, mold you like this. He'll say what he wants.
Before we get to his recent arrest and current incarceration, let's talk about some of his public posts from his official accounts. I mean, we know that there's admins on that account, but nevertheless, he must still have some awareness
of course.
of what goes out from his official account. And by the way, Tam, my dear brother, we spoke about this off camera. The reason why I'm positing these things to you is because these are concerns of genuine Muslims. I'm not talking about agents. I'm not talking about sellouts.
No, I understand,
I'm not
totally.
I'm not talking about reformists, deformists. I'm not talking about the rainbow-coloured troops. I'm talking about these are genuine Muslims. Musallis, people who pray 5 times salah, will make dua for him. But they just need some clarity on how come stuff like tweets where he's referring to himself, or the account is referring to himself as "I am Lord." People pay me for my words; they beg. Worship me. And there's quite a few.
I have to laugh because the mentality of, you know what?
The world belongs to
Bro,
me.
exactly.
The world belongs to me and God.
Who do you think many people were forwarding this to at the time?
I state as a matter of absolute fact, if you live in a country which celebrates itself on the same day you celebrate yourself, you gain magical powers. So these are clear kufr.
As a Muslim, yeah.
Like you can go to any sect, any group, anyone, any sheikh of any stripes or any colours. They'll say, listen, this
No,
is...
100% the shirk. But Let me clarify a few things. Firstly, not knowing this guy, we spoke, and actually there's a brother I want to shout out to who does other things like, he's a brother called Shamsi in London. We have a group since that while. It came to him, because Twitter is weird. Like my timeline, we were talking, it's weird. I don't see sometimes things.
This is Shamsi from DUS now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
He sends a voice note. We're in a group, and he sends it was aggressive. He goes, brother, Akhi, this is, I'm going to try and find it and play it. This is shit. This is kufr. We don't believe in this. At this time, he's in Cyprus, Tate. I don't know where. I spoke to Shamsi 2 days ago. We went to that voice note. He didn't listen to it. It didn't open. It takes like that. He's like his phone. You think mine? He has about 5,000 notifications. Then I spoke to him. I saw him. I said, I need to see you. I go, look, it's not safe. You know these things are not allowed. He goes, really? He goes, I don't say. I said, no. I said, the Lord. I know Urban Dictionary Lord. It's a status. This.
Yeah,
I said, Lord to us is.
There's one Lord, isn't it?
I don't even like saying king in my opinion, but Lord, the creator, the power. Goes, oh no, I meant like, yeah, but my intention was, I said, yeah, but bro, I know you, the world's going to get offended. Like, they're going to think you think you're comparing yourself to God, number one. Number two, a lot of these retweets, this, that, he doesn't even...
Because the very same passion he praises Muslims for,
Yeah.
it will be that same passion that will ultimately stick it on him.
Yeah. No, of course. But like, you know, there's a... When you're so new to Islam and you've jumped on it, like for example, my explanation for this is not illiterate to it, not having an idea that this is a major sin. See, anyone who comes to Islam straight away, they think it's alcohol, drugs, sexual marriage, tattoos, murder, riba. There's things you know.
Yeah.
Give charity, go to the Kaaba. You know, it's like the 5 pillars.
Yeah.
Many won't know. Like, you could go to a non-Muslim. Do you know? If you say, Lord, you know it's a sin, they're like, yeah, really? Why? What? This is non-education, not known factor. A lot of the retweets you'll see, it's just they're like a bots, whatever. For example, like in his team and Telegram group, boom, 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 he'll retweet. But many things I said, bro, you cannot. We don't believe in this. He goes, okay, I'll get you. I understand. Yeah. He goes, I didn't know. Like this was this. I didn't realize until 2 nights ago he didn't hear that voice, and it was quite hard. And our brother's sending us scripts on like how shirk takes you out and this, that. But he goes, okay, I'm understanding. I don't think you understand the consequences of what you are saying.
Yeah, the gravity of it.
The gravity of it. And truly is, like, you understand. It's been what? Month and a half before that, a few weeks.
Months, yeah.
So you're going from one extreme to another. And again, my example is that I've said stupid, not like this shirk, but I've made claims. I'm the man. I'm this. I'm that. I'm a born Muslim. How embarrassing, like that. So that kind of arrogance in itself is a sin, no matter what. But the brother, he doesn't know. He didn't know, and truly, there was no bad intent. It went. That's his brand for his real world, or what do you call it? The
Hustlers University.
Hustlers University. Takes the boss like this, the leader of the group. So it's kind of like that. These kind of things, the elements. He obviously sees it, but a lot of it, as you know, because there's tweets coming out now, would be this. But purely, from my opinion, Allah knows best and agrees his heart. But the intentions and the miseducation would not have been. If he clearly says that, it takes you out of the realm. But he truly, and he said to me, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I'm God. I said no, but bro, Lord, you cannot put yourself on that level. We are none of us. Even the Prophet Muhammad's not like that.
I own the world.
Yeah. Bro, these comments are like, you know, for example, what's everyone's favorite film? Al Pacino, Scarface.
Yeah.
I want the world, Chico.
And everything in it.
Yeah. This is a term the Westerners think is normal. I'm the man. Like, so these are quotes. You see guys on their WhatsApp. So we've got to take everything with a pinch of salt. When you realize someone's so westernized, cigars, money, private jets, drives these supercars, he's not the normal person. He is that 1% kind of guy. So therefore, his terms and terminology is different. So when you transition, it's not going to happen overnight.
So, you know, so there's two things, and allow me to push you back on something,
no problem.
Sam, yeah? I think as a companion and as a friend, I'd want a friend like you. You know, mashallah, tabarakallah, you know, in his absence, you're defending him. But I want to posit something back to you. We've spoken about how widely renowned he is on a global level, right? And it wouldn't be untrue to say that he's up there with Messi and Ronaldo, if not surpasses them, in terms of how much people are being exposed to him.
Yeah.
His content was seen more than 10 billion times across all platforms, right? 10 billion
Is
views.
that a hashtag or something?
Yeah. So we have to understand he's absolutely a specimen from the perspective of exposure. But for that very reason, is it not required for that very reason, because of his following, because of his influence, that where a normal non-Muslim who becomes a Muslim, he never has to shout from the rooftops about his past. He doesn't, because no one knows him. You know, he doesn't influence no one. Someone like Tate, someone like Andrew, whose followers and influence is in the tens of millions, right? Do you feel that there is a sense of responsibility? I'm asking your opinion, by the way, that you know what, I'm a Muslim now, and there's a lot of content out there where I've said things which are clearly un-Islamic. I'll make bara from these issues. This stuff, this is not me anymore. Because it's.
I understand what you're saying, and as a Muslim, and I totally get that angle. At the same time, clear cut. Andrew Tate is not a Dawi scholar, never will be. Well, you never know. But Andrew Tate is not. Andrew Tate is a guy who's felt close to Allah and Islam and become Muslim and simple, and is helping his life. He never intended, yes, he's a big megastar. But do we question Mo Salah, Amir Khan, and these guys? Mo Salah, for example, he got some scandal.
But they get clotted as well.
They get clotted, but we don't say, Mo Salah, speak out again. Like, it's the comments, but I mean, there's so many others who have been bought. I'm just saying, we don't expect them to say anything. Like Habib, for me, I respect him most. But yeah, MMA is not halal. Let's not. We'll go, Habib's so humble. This, yeah.
He admitted it wasn't halal.
Yeah, I'm just saying. But yeah, the brother's showing his arrow fighting, and there's ring girls, and it's in a casino. So if you really want, my point is, this guy's gone from extreme. I always clarified, and I always said that he's not here as a dawah. This guy loves Allah, loves Islam, has said the Shahada. There is only one Allah, and Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the messenger. He's a Muslim. He's said that, which everyone gets the message somehow. The guy's got a message at the peak of his career when majority will ignore it because it's going to hinder them and go, why would I need ties? But it's a hard one to answer. At the same time, look, he's still new to it, and his character. Bro, I'm 41. I'm an old man.
You wouldn't think it, man. Mashallah.
Only in recent years, I've more humble. I drive a car, and if a Deliveroo driver made a mistake, miskeen, like a skinny Pakistani guy, an Indian or Bengali, and what are you doing? I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I'd flip. Like, you've gone near my car, you've made me have hit something nearly. Now I just like, it takes your character. And
why did that happen? Back to you now. Why did that happen?
With mature, when you have children, some certain calamities you have in your life, and the more I read and the things around certain brothers' advice, and I was like, you know what, who am I? Like, certain things in life will ground you, and when you have a calamity and trial, I believe in life, like Andrew's going through now, there's two things you can do, and as you know as a brother, one is get distant, go into drugs and vices and escape, and I don't need that. Always get close to Allah, and that's what Allah wants. That's what Allah wants. He's saying, come to me. The West will say, oh, your life's not. There's a reason behind every calamity and trial. It's a test now. Where'd you go? Who'd you go to? I know billionaires, bro. I know superstar fighters. When I had a situation, no one could help. Allah, no one. I know ex-criminal, this, that. He's this, he's that. Oh, this. Nothing but sajda, pray, tahajjud, and the Quran. Who knows? This could be that trial for Andrew, and this has taken me 4 years. I've never touched a drop of alcohol or drug in my life, being born in Essex, but I've done other stuff, sins, of course. But yet my character around a very conservative family still wasn't great. You're coming from a guy who's literally him and his brother raised themselves in the last 15 years easily, lived alone, from 0 to 100. This guy these are going to happen, and his character is not at that point where he's going to sit back and go, you know what, that takes time to own responsibility. That takes time, bro. I've made mistakes in my life. It took me years to expect, you know what, maybe I was wrong, the better man. So to expect it from him, I think people are being a bit naive in that fact, and no disrespect. Look at the extremes. Look at where he's come from to that. It will take a long journey to get to that. So I understand.
Do you think it's an unreasonable request?
It's not unreasonable, but I think also it's unrealistic at the same time, because it's been a month. People want literally over a month. In a month, they want him to go over every video, delete all his past, say this, that.
No.
I'm just saying no, but I'm saying it's not going to happen. We have to be realistic too. We have to also not pressure the guy. He's come to Islam. Open out and say, give him a benefit of that, and let him take his time. It's like a big cake. You have the cake. Like a guy like me in a buffet. Or if I eat all that, I'm going to feel sick. Take it piece by piece. Enjoy the taste. Enjoy the taste, and really enjoy the love of Islam. And like what I used to do when I was getting at the beginning, when I was younger, do this, you have to cover your head. To my sister, pray 5 times, haram, you've got that, you're listening to rap. Then I realised, what am I doing? Who am I? Being an example is a key. That comes with time. That comes with character. if you want my children to, not force them, pray. Look at me. Look at it's fun. Praying is amazing. Enjoy it. Don't be forced to like the guys when you're younger like this. I remember the old Tarawihs when we were young, and all the guys are like, let's go out, long. Now I love it, bro. I want to be. It's just the feeling. So, bro, yes. Does he have responsibility? He's a personality, a celebrity. Call it what you want, but I truly believe, in that opinion, I've got to say, we're asking too much right now. We're asking too much. Give the benefit of that as a brother. Like many question certain things. It's not in our right, Many will say, is he really, is he a Muslim, is he doing it for this, is he doing it for protection from others, is he getting paid to live here? As we know, there's stories of the Sahaba when the Prophet's time, peace be upon him, in war, when they're about to kill a non-Muslim, and the guy did Shahada. And then he still did it, and the Prophet was
he wasn't happy
very
about that.
unhappy. Literally, why did you do that? He goes, did you open his heart and see? So you get my point. The brother said it's like going to a restaurant. Says halal, and I had his friends, yeah, but you know what, how's it halal? I said, brother, this guy's a Muslim. He's saying it's halal. As a Muslim, we have to give him the benefit. If he's lying, it's his sins on him. When a brother says he's reverted. He's openly said Shahada. He does it on podcasts openly. It's not like he came on Piers Morgan said it. He said Assalamu alaikum, the first thing he said. So he's publicly trying to show I'm a Muslim in his own way. So for people to question that, stuff like it's a sin on our behalf. So if the Prophet is unhappy with it, who are we to question it? So my point is, it takes time, brother. It really takes time. You'll know from your experience in life. It takes time reading. Me and you could be 80 and we'll still not know everything about. We will not inside out be the best scholar or know everything about Islam. It's an unlimited, perfect religion. Could you,
before we move on to his recent arrest and incarceration, would you at least empathize with the sentiment?
No, I do.
And we're talking about time. We're talking about. Not Salat Muslims here. We're talking about genuine Muslims. People who you and I would regard as, mashallah, these people are stand-up people, brothers and sisters. These are people who I wouldn't mind my children being raised around. You know what I mean? That have voiced some of these concerns. Yeah. I'm not even pushing you to say.
No, I totally, bro. I understand because certain things like he put an old video on the private jet with a whiskey and a cigar. I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like. Is really who's in Dubai, but stop portraying this. Like I did silly videos, like.
So you've conversed with him about this?
Yeah, this one I said. He goes, "Oh yeah, I understand." I said, "Bro, I told him Muslims don't take that to light." He sees it as he doesn't. Bro, the guy is a very good guy, but he doesn't. He think. You see, rap musicians. This is how I explain it. You get these rap stars. I'm a gangster. I'm a G. I got these cars. They don't own the cars. Those women that have model. Bro, I know they have nothing. I'm this, I'm money. It's all fake. I've been around the content creation. I've been around YouTube. I don't expose. It is all BS.
100%, bro.
99%, bar that one or two guys who own the record
your
label.
record label gives you a budget, and you have to use that budget for rentals.
Someone says their girls, models, the cars, your rentals. You're sitting there, the money you're throwing. 100%. It's all fake. 6ix9ine, this rapper, throws out money. Yet he didn't pay a debt in Dubai. I was told, from a good source, he ran away with about paying a $25,000 debt. So there you go. They're not billionaires. They're fake. So Andrew Tate, the glass, that's content creator. That's all right to get the youth. His message he means Islam, but also there's a character. So when you see this, he's portraying. He doesn't understand better, but this is to his this audience or whatever, and they're used to that. So in a way, probably he thought if I went indoors all day going, Assalamu alaikum everyone. Real was dead. So it takes time to transition. So I can understand where he's coming from. It's not right, but people have to always. You got to take everything in context.
So are you saying that's one of the things he's struggling with then at the moment?
I don't think he's struggling. I just think whoever it's a big organisation, bro. He's got. It's like people working.
Are we talking about the Hustlers University?
Yeah, there's coaches. There's people. They had people think it's fake. They had 40 guys, members came to my gym to do a camp, to spar and to learn martial arts. Like guys who were workers were put in a cage with gloves on. They were like, "What's going on?" I witnessed with my own eyes. Like, wow, he actually takes it serious. He had a coach. He pays him. He pays people for all the kind of curriculum. He has coaches, staff who are on there 24/7. So it's a system. He actually's got people he's paying on payrolls to make sure people get the service. So I think.
What is the service?
To make people confident, educate, see how to make money. If you haven't got education, don't want to go to university, this is the way to how to make money. What's this thing they call, like Amazon you do? Drop shipping, this, that, crypto. Teaches you all these things, which is very relevant nowadays. Like crypto, I'm still sometimes like, what's, you know?
Yeah, Bitcoin's king, man.
Yeah, we know Bitcoin, Ethereum, but everything else, what's this? What's an NFT? Bro, I learned myself being around guys in the crypto world, but a lot of these youngsters won't know. It goes through this, fitness regimes, this and that, confidence speeches. So he has a system.
So Hustlers University, because we were actually going to get to, but you brought it in much earlier than I thought. So Hustlers University isn't about people getting hustled. It's about
No. How to become hustler. The word hustler is what, you know, hustler in the...
yeah, we know it's a hustle, not in the illegal way, but hustle mean like
work, grind, be something, make money.
Yeah, 100%.
So his university is to be a hustler.
So it's cryptocurrency, NFT.
Like cryptos, NFTs. There's this drop shipping that he teaches about health, fitness, your body, speaking,
trading, public speaking, all that kind of
like
stuff. Confidence building.
yeah, but there's a few things I looked into and I saw. But why I looked into it is because I was like, bro, how much I want to hire a space? One of his coaches, Andrew, has a system where there's coaches, and he said it's an old friend. And I'm like, no, you're old friend. He goes, no, I want to pay this. I said, use the place. And I came, I didn't know what they were doing. I didn't even know it was that. I didn't know it was nothing to do with the real world or Hustlers University. I came, there's about literally 50 guys, different shapes, sizes, different ethnicities, training, disciplined, camaraderie, like they're hugging, smiling. Everyone come up to me. I was like, okay, what's that? I said, what is this? Like, you're from this place. My friend's from. The coach goes, no, we're from the War Room. The War Room.
Yeah.
I said, oh, then I got it. Looked into it. I said, it's really like a brother. He's I know what he's doing. He's team building, then teaching, then going on courses, going on drives. They do these drives in the roads. They go shooting. So it's like
he's built a fraternity.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
It's like Cub Scouts on steroids.
But you, from what you've observed and what you've seen, people are not getting hustled.
No, because let me tell you, this people say, oh, he's making, bro. He's paying these. He has proper an ex-UFC fighter coaching him in fitness. I saw academics. They do tours. Some of the things they rent, bro, costs a lot. I know I'm from Dubai. Drives to Jebel Jason, supercars. He arranges everything. It's all him. His IT staff. It's a. I couldn't believe it when I was in this villa one day. Like IT staff, this, that. It's a serious company, and it's everything he puts back in. He sits there, goes, "Oh, did you book that? Is that good? They like the logo. What do you think of this?" Once we were having a dinner, he goes, "Oh, we have to get back. We've got our live War Room, or he does a talk with his brother. It's called something. He has a talk where he has to go live." I said, "Just change." No, bro. It's planned. There's guys, members from every town in the world. So he took it seriously, and he's forefront. He meets them. He talks. So I was thinking. I used to read about it. What is it? No.
Is that his main source of income?
Yeah.
From your knowledge.
Yeah, that's his main source.
So would it then be fair to say that to then change that perception of the cigar smoking, whiskey drinking, shades on, cool gangster, top G looking guy, that brand, it's going to be difficult to change that brand because
for sure, whiskey and still sunglasses, nothing wrong with it. Cigars, I don't know the hook on it. Was I Muslim? Yeah. I don't know.
No, I'm talking about the perception of.
You see,
that perception is going to be hard for him to move away from that.
No, it's not a perception, but I don't think. Look,
because
for him to be a powerful presence as a leader, it's not a sin as like Islam. So if he can still carry on that like Amir, that, you know what,
100%.
Every crew, you'd have been young. We'd always have. There's a reason why you're confident doing your thing. You'd have been the more confident one of your team. Everyone, you can tell who's confident, who's not when you grow older.
Yeah.
You can see. You see yourself. Yeah. They're there. They've got the confidence to come, pick up on a flight, go here and there. There's always that kind of. You can't teach that. He is that. People follow that. You have to have that kind of leadership. So that there's nothing to change there. The alcohol and that will go, but that powerful spokesman and that, I don't see what's the issue with that going forward.
No, the whole kind of I own this. Cars, money, peas,
look,
my realm is mine.
That's a delivery.
People beg to me.
Begging and stuff for sure has to go. But for him to say, look, you can have this if you work hard, he's put a message. You want these things. There's no if you can afford it and your family are good and your neighbour's good, you can drive this car. You can have that. You can, as long as you're not out there, you can enjoy. Sometimes if you're successful, why not? So there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, of course, the other things, and that will come with time. He has a lot of his delivery, and people should look post his reversion, watch his speaking and content compared to before. It has dropped decibels.
Look, for our viewers and listeners, and I'm sure there'll be people who follow you avidly that'll be watching this podcast, they'll be thinking to themselves, look, the vast majority of the Sahaba were poor. In fact, when Abu Sufyan, he met Heracles. This was before Abu Sufyan became Muslim. This is when the boycott in Mecca was happening at that round about that time. And Heracles, the Byzantium king of the Eastern Roman Empire, he was doing like this litmus test on Abu Sufyan, so asking him questions about the Prophet to see if there were similarities to prophets of the past. And one of the questions he asked was, are most his followers from the poor? And he said yes. To which Heracles said, for verily the followers of the prophets were always poor. We know that the inhabitants of Jannah, majority of them are going to be the poor people, right? So I think one of the concerns, I remember this is all time. We spoke about this off camera.
No, I agree. I understand.
I'm not here to present.
No, it's good. It's good to have dialogue like this.
I'm not here to present the views of people whose agendas and intentions are wrong, brother.
No, I understand.
I'm telling you straight, wallahi, I've got no time.
Your reputation, we know.
Yeah.
We know. I know you wouldn't be like this.
I ain't got time.
I wouldn't
for
even
that.
sit if it was like that.
I'm here to present to you what the genuine people amongst the ummah who want the best for him, who genuinely want the best for him. In fact, before I came out, I said to a few people, I'm going to meet Tam Khan. They said, look, just tell the brother, a few brothers and some sisters as well. They said, look, tell him that Andrew is in our du'as because he's a Muslim. Mm-hmm. But we have these concerns because my nephew watches this, my younger brother watches this.
Totally understand.
And when they start seeing that everything's gadiyan, Korean, women, this, that, yeah, that's what it is. Yes, yes, he's making a man out of them from one sense because they're not going to go and say, I identify as Amina today. Yes, we know he's locked off that. But
I know what you're saying, and I totally agree. I totally agree on this, and that hadith is beautiful. Let me just counter something with you now, just to play devil's advocate, right? There's another hadith, which, for me, I'm not sure if it is proven or not, and I've got daughters, a wife, a mother. My mother's on a pedestal like all our mothers. My kids, inshallah, be the best of all women.
Ameen.
And I want to raise them as good Muslims and just have that power. And I don't like to see anyone belittle a woman ever. Sometimes, since I've had daughters, I look at some things, the share when you die, and I'm like, oh, why? Like, to my daughter's like, I'm like, why? Like, I look into it more, because I'm very proper. My goals in my life, and there's this. They say the majority of there'll be more women in. I'm not sure. I'm just saying to you. I'm playing this devil advocate, stuff like that by that term. There'll be more women.
There's also a narration that many of the women, many people of Jahannam will be women.
They're women.
Yeah.
So you say he's saying the Prophet in a wise in prison, then therefore is his message not wrong when he's dissing this woman? I'm joking. But you know what I'm saying? If you want to go that angle, look, my point is, and sisters, don't take offense to this, because if it wasn't for women, I won't be here, and Hazrat Aisha, Maryam, and my mother, I fear my mother more than anything. But my point is this, I know what you're saying, and yes, there's things will change, but again, you have to walk before you run. We're expecting this change. Andrew's we have to calm down. I know emotions are there too, because a lot of these fans felt attachment when he was at his worst. Look at this video. He's sitting on podcasts with 12 hoes. Stuff for love.
We were questioning, why is he so popular amongst young kids?
Honestly, it's insane, because I can understand teens, I can understand single men, I can understand men who've gone through heartbreak, men who feel limited, want to get more success, want to live that lifestyle.
Low self-esteem,
heartbroken. Because social media, all it portrays is rich, money, glam, power. And unfortunately, the majority of non-Muslim women, or women who are distant, even Muslim women who are distant from being humble and modest, chase that in a man. Yeah. It's not about looks, it's about he's a good guy, he's good to his mother, he's that, what does he do for no. How much money has he got? What car does he drive? It's not about our looks now. It's not about looks. So that's society. And I'm not sure. So I understand when it's a mature person, but you witnessed it after the mosque just a little bit.
Young kids.
I'll go to a mall. We'll go to a mall later on.
5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds.
They'll come. They know me. Top G's friend. Top T. Tam. It's just like.
Are you Top T now?
Yeah, I just laugh. He said that once. So I laugh. So I'm no top nothing. But my point is, it's like 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds to 12 adore him. I saw kids nearly wanted to cry at a skate park the other day because they were upset he's in jail. Like, they love him. You saw these kids are just like, Andrew Tate, when's he coming? This is that. he's loved. Their faces light up when he walks
They were
on.
giving us news updates.
Yeah, they were giving us news updates.
They were giving us news updates.
There's something, like you said, is it a superpower? Is it the jokes, the satire, the laugh, the memes? You know, those old memes when you'd see people talk about, you know, that Greta Thunberg's famous speech where she goes, what does she shout?
She said something though, but
and he's like, oh, shut up
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
It went viral. Kids like giggle. So he has that relation. His character is like that. Honestly, that 2% is this J.R. Ewing cigar smoking. Anyone who sits with him laughs. Anyone enjoys. My wife had this issue, bro. When I was doing the show, she goes, "You're not. Is it you behind it?" I didn't even tell her. I'm gonna put a story out and say I'm not associated with you with this. I said, "Are you joking? You're gonna put a story out on your husband?" I said, "That's like cheating." I said, "You may. You're not doing that." We had a big argument. I said, "You don't know him. He's my friend. This, that. We're doing a show, and so what? I'm gonna let the guy speak, and why not? People probably no. I said, "You're gonna meet him." So I went to a dinner. I said, "Come, we're gonna meet." And she goes, "Oh, you're right." Then she started looking into more of the peers. She goes, I said, "What's this matrix he's talking about?" Like, she goes, "You're actually right. He's not a bad guy." And she goes, "I understand now. I understand. Like, some things I don't like." She goes, "I don't know why he's having an argument with this young kid, Greta, on Twitter."
Greta Thunberg.
But she doesn't understand the gist behind who's Greta. My wife doesn't. She sees it as Greta's this freedom fighting like girl. But then she met him. She goes, "You know what? I understand now, and he's a good guy, and he's smiling, and respectful, and you know, and so yeah. So like I said,
Is Andrew
he has
married?
that charisma.
Andrew married? Is that a no comment one?
So no comment one, but
Okay.
he's very respectful. He has, I think it's got out now. He has kids, respectful, very loving. Loves both brothers. Really look after them. I love them. The mother's very humble. They're always trying to move her to a place. She goes, "Oh, I like it back home."
Do you think Tristan would warm to Islam?
Tristan respects it a lot. I honestly believe one thing. Let me say this now. I wanted to say this, and I just remembered. We have to show support for our brother, and you know what I'm noticing now, it's the brothers and the Muslims who are more public about let's don't judge until we know the truth, and as Muslims we should believe in our brother. It's a lot of these non-Muslim YouTubers, people clout chasing, who are his best friends, who are not really speaking out, bar 2 or 3, Sneeko and a few. I'm watching a lot. I'm watching guys used to beg me on my phone to meet him, this, that, silent. Like him post like, "Oh, I'm nervous to say." I'm like, I'm doing it as a brother. And this is going to show him more and his brother what Islam's about. It's not about, "Oh, let's really come where Muslims will pray." It's a brotherhood. Like, we might not know, say the cameraman, we might know he's a brother and he comes out and we hear him saying he's struggling. Brothers will go and raise money.
100%.
That's Islam. Why? Because it's a brotherhood. You can't teach it, you can't buy it. When they see this true brotherhood, the love of Islam, I can't see why Tristan won't. And Tristan notices many things. He speaks highly of it. He's an Orthodox Christian, but he's a very good guy too, intellectual, a nice guy, and
May Allah guide him to Islam.
yeah, inshallah, Allah knows best. But he looks up to his brother. His brother is driving force, like always the older one, and inshallah, this test will bring him closer, and he'll see. You'll see now, as brothers, we don't care your past, whatever. If you're a Muslim, we protect you as long as you repent for your sins and you understand and you're not messing around. Even if you sin bad, we'll correct you and say that's wrong. We're just. But I think this will show Andrew a lot, and inshallah, obviously they can't see much. They won't be seeing media coverage. Unfortunately, his situation, but I can't see why Tristan won't be. Inshallah, Allah. People say I'm the reason I'm not. Allah guides who He wants to Islam.
Absolutely, bro.
It's all in Allah's hands. There'll be different channels, but it's purely Allah. I don't like this. I had nothing to do with it. He was interested himself. He would post about this years before me. Everyone saw the thing, meaning he's reading into it, and yeah. So inshallah, khair, you know, I hope so.
You, before the camera went lock off, we were talking about people didn't have a problem with him sitting in a podcast when he was a non-Muslim with 12 clearly overtly promiscuous women. People didn't have a problem sharing those clips. What was the point you were trying to make with regards to that?
My point was like, they loved him and they were sharing. Look, he said about this Islam. He's got this. It's Andrew Tate. He's saying the word bitch to people. It will go viral. People were laughing, Muslim men and women. Now, since reverted, it's like, oh, he needs to go back. You were chased. Like, my point is, don't accept it, but it's gonna take time. You loved him for this. Now he's become Muslim. It's like many I see kind of like, no, you're not, or having an issue with him. We've welcomed the brother. Take it easy, like I said about the cake, step by step. It's so fresh. I'm 41, brother. You're probably younger than me. Like, I still don't know the like. There's some things I learn every day. Like, small things regarding someone said when you do salah, you shouldn't really keep your eyes closed or something. I have people give me opinions on many things. I used to make a mistake, like when I'm training and I had to rush on a beach to pray, I'd cover my aura and leave my chest up to here. I didn't know you had to cover. I never knew this.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 4 weeks ago, bro. I never knew. So I'm saying that's me. Around a traditional Muslim family, mashallah, well raised to the best. Stories of all the prophets read the Quran, and I know battles and stories of how the prophets treated their wives, to Suleiman, to Yusuf, prophet, peace be upon him, to Ayub's calamity. I know all, and I've been raised like that. This guy, like I said, has lived in Romania, Orthodox Christian, probably had no Muslims around him until really me now, his old coach, he doesn't see once in a blue moon. From this to this, let's have some sabr, brother. We insist we have to have sabr. We're expecting too much. Let's not expect Malcolm X straight away. But I truly believe if he comes to the right path, he could be very, very, very influential for the youth, and he, inshallah, one day practices and knows that really educate himself on Islam properly. I mean, already I'm seeing reverse. People messaging me all day. I'm interested in Islam. Andrew Tate's got me interested in Islam. What do I do? So, whatever you want to say, Islam, like the message is reached again. Oh, Allah, it's a miracle of Allah, isn't it? The message will reach everyone, whether it's from 9/11, whether it's from this, that everyone will hear our message.
As in the means and mediums can be anything. The message,
Could be anything.
The message will get to the people.
It will.
Let me ask you squarely, brother.
Yeah.
Do you believe Andrew Tate, the Andrew Tate that you know right now, is a positive role model for Muslims?
For Muslims, brother, I don't believe that. I don't believe there is one positive role model for Muslims right now. I'm being honest. The Prophet and Sahaba and scholars, for me, they're role. For me, the Prophets, peace be upon all of them, Sahaba, the Khalifs. That's it. I don't care, bro. For me, no one else is. I respect people who are not ashamed to say on a big stage, like Khabib when he said Alhamdulillah Wayne. I loved it. I love how Khabib brought Islam to his front doors. Again, there's many ways and means to get them. Like Khabib was an example. Muhammad Ali. After that, like, honestly, name me some. On the big picture, let's not look at dawis. That's their job. They're a dawi. They're supposed to. Let's look at influencers' personalities.
You're saying non-religious figures
Yeah.
that are role models for Muslims.
Yeah, there's none. And then who's brought prominence to Islam where kids are like, yeah, I'm proud. In the last 5 years, probably Andrew Tate's the most after Khabib. More than Mo Salah. More than Sadio Mane. More than DJ Khalid. Come on. No, but let's be honest. His brother's a Palestinian. What's DJ Khalid done? Look at, the guy was non-Muslim. The guy was promoting Islam to everyone before being Muslim. The guy's, you think I will post something without his knowing, like praying? I think it goes around. His tweets, it has to go for his permission. He tweeted a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah the other day, mashallah.
Yes,
you know?
Yeah.
What? You could easily lose a lot of his clientele. These guys, yeah. There's many. Then Ibn Taymiyyah quote. So, look, take the time, but he's doing what he could do his best. There are no role models. The same way for young girls, like for women, it's worse. Okay, we can say this, Habib. There's guys. Some guys can say, you see, treat your parents right. Guys, learn from him. Name me a woman I could say to my kids, look up to.
You're sticking on me now. I can't think back up.
Why is not my sister like who? Apart from
But is the very fact that because we can't mention du'at or ulama or mashayikh, is that they are supposed to be the ones that are the role models. It was never supposed to be footballers and influencers and MMA fighters.
Yes, but look at society now. Actually, you're in shape, training, life change, hairstyle, everything's done. We all have that little bit of, not vain, but we all want to present ourselves in a certain way, society. We do. Look, I'm not saying much like you got, because I'm in the fitness game. I can see when I look at you, I go, you're bigger than I thought. You got a V, you got biceps. I can tell you train hard. It's not like easy. For what reason? Let's not say our wives. Yeah, let's be honest. We all have that in us.
That's gonna get me in trouble, bro.
No, we all have it in us, bro. Everyone has that. No one's perfect. Every sister has it. When she chooses a buyer, when she dress up the little makeup for her husband, everyone has it in them. To the Mendy, to this. So please, like, when you say these imams or these dawis, yeah, they do not relate. It's not realistic enough. Unfortunately, I wish they did. I'm telling you, me, and I don't care the hate I get. I go to Shamsi, a brother from DOS Dawah, always. He relates to me. He's kind of, I need that. I see others, no mentions name. They're looking for clout and likes. Okay, you're doing Dawah.
Okay, when you speak to Shamsi next, because I messaged him, I'm not sure if we have the same number, and I invited him onto the podcast.
I'd love to. I'll do it.
Convey my salams to him.
I will 100%. Listen, Shamsi, as a brother, helped me in a bad time. He's very honest. He doesn't beat around the bush. He tells you straight. He fears no one. And I want to say he's been monumental with Andrew, sending advice. Because I'm not Dawi. I said, brother, I introduced him. I said, please help the brother. And he was very, like, a lot of the first tweets he did about the Khalifa, that was from Shamsi, giving quotes, he'd copy and paste. He wouldn't offer Twitter, he'd send them to him. Nice daily reminders and easy going. And people get stick and they see speakers. What that brother helps me a lot on a daily basis. I speak to. He never asks for clout. He never likes. I always said, like, go on a Zoom with Andrew. It's good for your shakers, but I don't care for this. I just want to see the brother do good. Advise him. I'm gonna try to find this right now for you. Yeah? The group.
Because he made a video recently on Andrew about his incarceration.
Yeah, he did, and it was very honest.
Yeah.
For me, it was a very honest video, and my point is the brother means, my point is, by him, it's hard to relate. I see some like beautiful reminders from Mufti Menk. I like them. I like their things, but then I see others like internationally who've, don't want to say names, stuff like we all make mistakes, supporting LGBTQ on marches, walking around, some guys, others throwing their shirt off on trolleys, others interviewing girls. Come on, like, all brothers, like, I respect them all. I like them all. Honestly, there's some fitna going on with brothers in school. I like them all. I like, you know what, if you're going to promote something and be famous for it, at least it's Islam, better than some of the stupid things I do. But to respect is hard for these youth. So when you say that, they're not going to look up to us, but they don't relate. We're a bit older. It's very hard to relate to them. When I post these reminders for Fajr and stuff, kids come to me and go, bro, I'm praying because of you. I'm praying because of you. Bro, thanks, keep it up. And that, I'm like, what? Like, who am I? But you don't realise. People look up to someone, oh, he's a bit this, he's a bit that. You're on TV doing posts, you were Jake Shields. You're going to hit a different target audience now. So when you say that, it's hard to relate to these people, brother. It's hard. Society is so different. And we're a bit tough on the younger generation. It's not like our generation, YouTube, social media. As parents and Muslims out there, if you're listening, have a bit of patience with the younger generation to relate to them. Don't be relate to them in a manner which fits them. And Andrew does, kind of.
You're saying that because of how much fitna they're having to deal with. The kids.
Just society in general, brother.
Yeah, so the external influences, whether it's at school, whether it's social media, you're saying there's a lot for the kids to deal with.
100%.
So our harshness is to be balanced, is that what you're saying?
My dear brothers, I hope you're doing well, inshallah, likewise your families. A brother sent me this tweet, and I think our brother Andrew retweeted it. I'm not on Twitter, so someone sent it to me, and what has been mentioned in there
He'll read it.
is very extreme.
I've seen this.
And go against the teaching of Islam. That this person, he's just going beyond the boundaries. We as a Muslims, we don't like this type of praise. Rather, this type of praise is like associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
This goes on for 5-6 minutes. My point, he reached out straight away. We've looked back now, he didn't read it from travelling. My point was, what I like about it, he's there, he's helped. So my point is, I only relate to him purely because he understands youth, he's from London, he's East Coast, and I like his style. Some say it's aggressive. I like that. What I mean, once I met him in a hotel in London, yeah? I said, come, I'm staying here. There's a group of girls, everyone's making, he goes, brother, there's too much fitna here. Can we go to a local thing? Actually, the music's too loud. And I just looked at him, I laughed, I was like, I like this. He's not like, and everyone's got their thing, but my point is, it related to me. Everyone's different. This youth is very hard to relate to, brother. I'm a father now, yeah? And I've got to be very careful. I've got daughters, and inshallah, I want to keep them away from this shaitan and these vices and these things. But I know I can't be too aggressive. I have to be in a very smart, elegant way and be a role model. So people look up to people in different ways. So you got to tread carefully. So I understand the elders and our brothers and sisters who have that worry and things, but we can't. The only role model we should have is the Prophet, peace be upon him, and all the prophets and the Sahaba and this and that. But Andrew might be a mechanism to relate to that, to
But-
go into Islam. So it's this topic we could talk about hours, but
I'm going to speak a bit of my mind now, Tom. I'll tell you the reason why I think a lot of people gravitate towards Andrew. Bruv, you know, there was a time in our civilization where we had men conquering lands, bruv. They took Islam to the forefront of Europe. We don't have men like this anymore. That's
agreed.
Yeah. So where we have Tariq bin Ziyad, Mahmud the Conqueror, Khalid bin Walid. We can even Salahuddin. The list is endless. We don't even have to go back that way back. We can even look 200-300 years ago.
Ottomans,
the Ottomans, Salman Donfodi of Nigeria. These were men that fought colonialists, established Islam. Exactly, Chechen brothers. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Baba Omar, the General Omar in the Chechen battles, but we don't have those men no more. We don't have that caliber of role models no more. So therefore, the thing that perhaps some connect, the next best thing is the likes of Andrew Tate.
And why? Again, is it true they're trying to break masculinity? Is it allowed for us to say these men? We can't even, brother. You can't even pose like this now in the West. They think you're
ISIS.
Yeah,
because it happened in the Moroccan place.
Andrew Tate is like, where's he says himself, we've got this far through wars and warriors and guys with this. Now we're saying, let me. There's nothing wrong with emotion. Like Prophet was the most pious, soft as well, smiling all the time. So I'm not saying that. Don't get me wrong. The Prophet peace was the best of all men. Never aggressive, had a smile for everyone, very articulate and loving to everyone. But at the same time, he had the strength of 10 men. I mean,
the Prophet's tears was in context of the Akhirah.
I'm just saying no, but there's like, brother, if my daughters get married, I'll probably cry. I'm not gonna lie.
No, what it is, people try to present the Prophet cried all the time over everything. No, he cried about very specific things.
Either way, they'll be like, you know, he'd cry for his ummah, you know. But
exactly,
my point
yes,
is,
the common one.
my point is that it's gone. And when they see Andrew, they see. I'm not saying anyway. There's no comparison, no way in the world to these brothers. Yeah, but my point is, there's a void in society. And everyone's trying to be too PG friendly. Andrew's like, no, this, that, we're warriors. It's in us, inside of us, bro. We liked He-Man, Hulk Hogan, Rocky, Arnie. Why? Who likes Arnie at 5 years old? It's the muscles. This, Hulk Hogan, He-Man, Mr. T, the A-Team. This is our generation. Alpha male. It was not. My dad's about
Chuck
alpha.
Norris.
My dad's not alpha male. He didn't teach me that. My dad didn't like that stuff. You know, Chuck and Bruce Lee. It was inside of us. Why the girls were like the Barbies and this, and playing doll and dressing up. It's in us. So my point is that these kids, it's in them. And when Andrew Tate has got that powerful message, it resonates. These young kids. Yeah, I'm gonna be strong. Yeah, you know what? I don't care if someone doesn't like me. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna do that. Then a woman likes she'll like me or not. So that's why, in a way, and society unfortunately doesn't have a lot of these people now. That's why Khabib's loved. Alpha male, tough, strong, warrior, retired, respectful of his parents, Muslim, no fear. What's the most famous thing of Khabib? What's the most famous action of Khabib's career?
Alhamdulillah.
No, jumping over a cage, attacking.
Of course, 100%.
Is Islamic? No, but that's people like what we loved it.
Yeah.
What's Mike Tyson's biting someone's ear? He's loved.
Yeah.
Biting someone's ear, brother.
Yeah.
Let's think about it in context. He bit someone's ear. He's the most loved guy in the world. Andrew Tate just dissed a few people. So that's society, bro.
Bringing the podcast to a close, even though it can go on for much longer than this. I would say, bro, I want your thoughts on this, right? There is a void and there is a gap, as you say, a gap in the market. And Andrew filled that gap. I don't think whether you like him or hate him or marmite him, you can't deny that. There was a gap in the market where masculinity, the kind of standard rujula attributions of a man, these things were being attacked. By feminists, by the LGBTQ lobby, some of the most powerful lobbies in the world. And it is in that vacuum that Andrew came about. And I would say to listeners, those who like him, dislike him, you can't take away the context of the vacuum he came in. And that vacuum is it's a time where masculinity, we're not even talking about the harami type of masculinity. We're talking about just the basics of being a man.
The
basics of being a man. The protector, the provider.
You can't say this.
So this stuff now becomes toxic. And it is in that vacuum that he's come along. And I will say this to mashayikh and ulama and du'at, because I know they'll be watching this, is that perhaps there is a failure on our part, collectively, right? No one's saying that our sheikhs and our mashaykh have to have 6 packs and start doing MMA and UFC. No, we're not saying that.
No.
But what we're saying is that it is very quickly observable that when you are self-censoring yourself, when you are specifically not talking about certain things because you're going to get heat, you're going to get pressure from sisters or feminists or LGBTQ lobby. The very fact that you're not talking about these things, the very fact that you've made videos that it's okay to sew, it's okay to do this, it's okay to always... Yes, the Prophet ﷺ sold his clothes, but he didn't sew his clothes every single day.
Yeah.
Yes, he helped with housely chores, but he wasn't helping with housely chores every single day. You've made that about the Prophet ﷺ, right? You don't talk about the Prophet ﷺ, the general, the war leader, yeah? The man who led jihad, took Islam to beyond the Arabian Peninsula, but at the same time was the best of husbands. You don't give that fair, proportionate, rounded perception of the Rasulullah ﷺ. What you do is you cherry pick, and I think it is in that void, that vacuum that Andrew's come along, and others, but the most prominent is Andrew.
100%, I agree. And I want to defend also the sisters. I think sisters get too much flack. I think the sisters sometimes, we as men, and a lot of the husbands out there, brothers, don't make enough of an effort. They sometimes go too alpha. Oh, culture, this. The Prophet was very loving.
That's aggressive, though. What you're describing there, where you're going too hard.
No, not too hard. I'm not saying that, but bro, I've been around brothers my age. We're all like that. Soppy. We're like. There's nothing wrong with a date night. Call it. It's your wife. There's nothing wrong with treating her. What a woman has to go through by raising kids in the house, cooking, especially Muslim sisters, they take it upon themselves to do more than anyone.
100%.
Like, give them time off. Take them on a trip, holiday, whatever it's got to be. Like, and you know, like. I've got to say, there's one woman I respect. Her name's Yasmin. She speaks with Yasmin.
Yasmin Mujahid.
Yeah, I like her. I don't know her surname. She has a lot of talk. She's American or...
Yasmin Mujahid, yeah.
Some of the things I like. My point is, as all men, there's been the leader, the protector. Also, many Muslims do lack in that loving side of the Prophet. I mean, he died resting his head on Aisha's chest or lap, yeah? None of us even do that. Like, I know me. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I want to watch Netflix, whatever. So we have a responsibility. We speak so highly of the Prophet, peace be upon him, but how many of us really try to emulate and be close to like his character? It's very hard. His sabr, his patience. With this Andrew Tate thing, how many Muslims are showing sabr and patience? Let's question ourselves as well. He's new to it. We know better. How many of us can clearly say what he's done? This, that, tweeting, very backbiting tweets, to be honest. A lot of them I'm reading from Muslims, which is shocking. Questioning his reversion, this and this. If we say he's not doing, what about us as Muslims? What about us? Like I said, the Prophet's peace be upon him story when the Sahaba killed the guy who
in the battlefield, yeah.
That's an example of the Prophet dislike. So who are we to question? So we should also take examples, myself included. I'm a big judger. I'm on Twitter. I'm like, oh, this guy said this. Let's look at and let's copy the Prophet and let's try to our best to emulate him by having that patience, that sabr. Before the Battle of Badr, the Prophet was sleeping till he got the message. A Battle of Badr, bro. If I tell you now, Mike Tyson's coming for you right now in the 2 hours, we'll be like, this is a battle, bro. See the character of the man. Obviously, cause the best of all. So we should emulate the sabr, the patience, how to smile more, how to that, and give the benefit of the doubt to the clear-cut guy who's publicly said Muslim. Who are we to judge? Allah knows best. And if whatever the situation, Allah knows best. Allah knows the truth, and He said it publicly. We take it for there. Let's show patience and support. With this case, with everything, I'm going to say here publicly, I believe it's all false until you show me video, clear-cut evidence, like I would expect in a Sharia court.
Some would say that's a big gamble you've taken, though.
Let it be. I'm supporting what every Muslim do, my brother. Yeah, a brother in Islam, and innocent to proven guilty. This is what justice is for. This is what Sharia law is for, whatever Western law you call it.
But he's definitely not going to be tried by Sharia law in Romania.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying. That's why Sharia law is perfect. You won't have this situation.
Yeah.
That's why Islam's perfect. You won't have non-mahram. You won't have these situations. So it's a kafar situation. It's got a kafar result. But my point is, unless there's clear-cut evidence, proof, video, I'm not going to go by testimonies. I'm not going to go by witness testimonies. I'm not going to go by their prosecution saying conspiracy to intent. No way. Because I know the guy.
This is an old case, though, Tam, right?
It's a ridiculous case, but I don't get into nitty-gritty in case we say
legality
is wrong.
We don't want to subdue
But
this
it's a
case.
very ridiculous case.
It's an old case.
It's an old case. They've investigated it. It was thrown out. Now all of a sudden, people are coming saying, crying, why didn't they do that in the last 6-7 years? There's people are trying to sell stories to the press when there's video evidence of them approaching him smiling. If I fear for my life from you, do you think I'm gonna come and say, how are you doing, bro?
No.
I stay away from you. So it's logic. This person's supposed to fear him, come over, say hello, what are you doing? I'm sitting there, the video's viral. Yet these getting all the press coverage. So please, as Muslims, innocent until proven guilty as anyone. And I'm not comparing anything, and I'm not comparing situations, but as Muslims, we've seen this happen many times. We had brothers doing sentences and gone some way for being Muslim, wrongly accused.
The vast majority, no, all of the brothers.
Wrongfully accused for nothing, yeah? So my point is, we're not saying it's the same thing, but I'm saying that just because they're going to say, to an American, they'll say, you're a terrorist, man, he was that, he's that, he's that. So if you're going to give up that easy, then give up on everything. So it's unfair. So I stick by everything. Unless it's clear-cut proof they cannot present, it's laughable. They're trying to diminish him. As soon as he become Muslim, he become too dangerous because he's already got influence. Now he's promoting Islam on a world stage. Piers Morgan, live TV to the masses. Brother, they're not going to like him. They don't like Muslims as it is. They don't like people against the system. Now you've got a guy who does both. So for me, he's pissed off the wrong people. And he's there, but as Muslims, please show support, please show love, because inshallah, Allah knows best. Inshallah, he'll be free one day, and I want him to see that, look, in Islam, we're taught justice, but also to back someone innocent to prove guilty, and that's the beauty of Islam, you know?
Are you saddened by his incarceration?
Yeah, of course. It's a brother. I'd be sad if you know someone, you don't want to see someone suffer like that. It's like, come on. When you know someone, it's just harsh, and it's like, I know him, and it's not only that incarcerated. It's like, I go back, I know he's not Muslim, Michael Jackson. Like, when people want to, what's the best way to destroy a character without killing them? Putting such a bad
story or
conviction
rumor,
on you.
Yeah.
Stuff like, imagine saying someone's you're this or that. It can destroy you. How about with Michael Jackson? Another one I didn't like. I saw the evidence, I saw the story, I researched it. To the point where he got addicted to drugs because he couldn't deal with the stress and killed himself or overdosed. So these things are dangerous, and the guy, like, his honor, he must be feeling like, they're trying to tarnish me with this. You'd rather be killed sometimes, you know? So I feel for him, and I know, because I know he's innocent, he must be thinking, what are they trying to do? Okay, show me something, or what? Like, what's the best way now? Cut off his accounts, cut all his money off, seize his cars, try and affect him in every way, then go outside. But what they're also doing is, they're making him a martyr. His fan base is going to go bang. You keep him in jail, he'll be like Che Guevara. Pictures on his shirts worldwide. You release him, you've lost. They've lost. They've made a big show from this. What are they going to do? Give justice. Let him. You've punished him. Give him a month. Okay. You've tried to scare him. Khalas. Or prove or show the world what you put it on TV anyway. The whole bloody thing. The arrest. Put on TV the evidence. Show us what's going on. Tell us.
Is there anything that you are in a position to say about his current situation?
I'm in a position to say that lawyers who are very reputable lawyers from the UK have spoke to lawyers there and said in any other West country this would be thrown out as garbage. It's from an old story. It seems like, Allah knows best, I'm going to say, people are getting paid to make stories to get against him. And funny enough, Tommy Robinson, an old enemy of Islam, but everyone has their say. He made a statement, and it was spot on. He was talking the other day, and he said, "What do you expect from his history has come back to bite him, where you pay women to take their clothes off. These same women, you can pay them to say what they want. What do you expect?" And he was spot on. That's the situation we're in, and it's a scorned woman, brother. And unfortunately, what's upsetting is there are real victims out there who have been human trafficked and raped, and stuff like that is disgusting. And Allah protect them all. And the real victims out there, it's despicable. I don't like that, but he is not that. I know the guy, and I can tell you, if you can hang with me now, and if you were to find out I'm a serial killer, you'd be shocked. You'd be like, Tam, even from one day with me, you'd be like, no, I don't believe it. I don't even that. So I'm telling you, when I'm saying I spend time with him, impossible. And I want to see video evidence, proof. He has CCTV all around his house. They searched it all. His house is CCTV, security. There's ways to check. There must have been some devices. I want to see a clicker. Testimonies don't do it for me. I'm unfortunately sorry. We've seen it enough as victims as being Muslims. We used to have detention for 30 days in UK without question, or was it 3 months?
25 days.
Without anything.
Yeah,
we just stay there. We're going to figure out something to do with you. There you go. So
yeah, man.
we should understand more.
Tam, it was an absolute pleasure having you on, my brother.
Thank you, my brother.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me your time.
No, pleasure.
And I've been on your case for the last 2.5, 3 months.
No.
So if I've been a bit persistent, forgive me. That's just the
For me,
journalist
it's a
in me.
pleasure, and I like to have discussions, and I think as long as we have one person who finds some benefit from this, alhamdulillah, we're doing a job, you know.
Can we quickly clear the air about that 2016 story now?
It's so good, you know. I'm not no egos. I was just laughing. I remember it came up. I was like, "Who's this 5 pillars?" You know, it was funny. But you know, it's younger than this is about 7 years ago.
Well, I want you to know I love you for the sake of Allah, my
Yeah,
brother.
of course. Same here, brother.
It's absolute
Thank you.
pleasure having you, my bro.
Thank you, brother.
Brothers and sisters, friends and foes, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed today's podcast as much as I did. There was a lot of food for thought. I know the comment section is going to go crazy on this one. I kindly request that you keep it brotherly and respectful. If you like this podcast, do remember to subscribe to all our audio platforms and, of course, the 5 Pillars YouTube channel. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Blood Brothers Podcast, a 5 Pillars production.